Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another episode. In this episode, we're in Oaxaca. That's right, the adventure begins. But actually, before we get started, before we get too deep into the Oaxacan adventure, well, we gotta fly out here and I gotta take you, through the whole airport experience. So that's what we're gonna do right now. All right guys, so we're here inside Mérida Airport. I want to tell you a little bit about the experience and how all that kind of went, because I know a lot of you guys are probably very curious. Okay, so number one, as you guys can see, you got to wear the mask, over the nose. The protocols, they were pretty on point, meaning that, the same old that you're going to be expecting when you come to an airport, meaning, you're going to get your temperature taken, you're going to get the hand gel, they sprayed our luggage, all that good stuff. Okay, now when we went to the check-in, everything was great. It was pretty easy, pretty straightforward, nothing crazy, nothing, but I wanted to let you guys know now. I really did want to kind of like film a little more of the entry process and all that stuff, but I don't know, like honestly, we were running a little kind of late and I didn't want to, hold us up any further with that, so but at the end of the day, there's nothing that I'm not telling you that, that I couldn't show you through film, meaning that nothing really out of the ordinary. Basically, a very sleepy afternoon, or morning actually, a very sleepy morning at Mérida Airport. And I don't know if the flight's gonna be full or not, we'll find out in a second, but at the end of the day, so far, so good. So I'm gonna, this is the first episode of the Oaxaca trip, and I'm gonna try and document and tell you guys about as much as I can throughout this whole process. And I know that this is part of the process. So at the end of the day, so far so good. I thought that the protocols and all these other things were going to be a bit more to handle, and not really. So far so good. So far it's just been pretty lax, pretty chill. And yeah, and we're looking forward to going out there to Oaxaca, so all right guys, I don't want to take up too much more time with that. If you have any questions, please let me know down below in the comments, but all right, now let's get to the flight. I'm going to show you a little bit more, and I'll probably catch you guys in Mexico City.
Por favor, tenga a la mano una identificación y su pase de abordar para ser presentados en la puerta de embarque.
We are now boarding all passengers for AeroMexico Flight 318 with service to
So there's been a lot of interesting things so far about this trip. So as we were getting on the plane, getting our boarding pass and doing all that stuff, part of the process now is that you got to fill out a little piece of paper, basically just kind of saying, answering a few questions, about, the virus, all right? Basically, hey, do you feel sick? Do you not feel sick? Yada, yada, yada. And just a bunch of random, like, little questions like that. It's basically a small little questionnaire. They want your passport number, where you're from, and where you've been, and things like that, but nothing crazy, all right? We're flying from Mérida to Mexico City to Oaxaca. So me and Christian are staying in Mexico. We're not moving out of Mexico. We're not leaving out of Mexico. So since we're not leaving, it's making it a lot easier. This makes it so much easier that we don't have, there's no test, there's no weird protocols. It's basically just like going in an OXXO or any other store where you get your temperature taken, you got to wash your hands, and that's about it. Nothing crazy. So that's the experience has been so far. But as the plane was landing here in Mexico City, it was telling Americans, hey, if you're an American with the final destination of the United States, then please, when you get off the plane, there's going to be a bunch of men in orange vests waiting for you to talk to you and give you some sort of an interview or some sort of exit interview. I don't know. So for those of you guys out there that are American and going back to the US, you're going to have to deal with that, okay? So just FYI. Also, in the airports now, there's constant, announcements to put on your mask, to put on your mask, to make sure that you're following protocol and all this other stuff. Besides the flights.
We also recommend using hand sanitizer and washing your hands frequently. Covering your nose with mouthwash, be safe and covering with the interior of your elbow and maintaining a healthy distance from one another. Taking care of yourself means taking care of others.
Okay, so I mean that's like a constant thing. I know that this part I'm editing it a lot because there's a lot of noise, and I'm just trying to talk when there's little noise, and I don't know how it's gonna come out at the end. But regardless, the airport seems pretty normal. Everything seems pretty normal, except everyone's wearing a mask. Doesn't seem that, you know, there's less people in the airport, that's for sure. You know, the flight that we were on was packed, as are most flights. You know, they're packed. Yeah, you gotta wear your mask, but it's not necessarily, you know, and just things like that, you know what I mean? It's like, it seems pretty normal. This ain't Oaxaca, is it? In fact, we're staying at one of those special motels by the airport in Ciudad de Mexico, aka Mexico City. Yeah, that's right. My brain's a little, you know, messed up right now. I mean, just because I'm very, very tired. You know, let's turn this down over here. I know, I just had to start recording because it was just something I had to share with you guys. So, you guys are probably wondering, well, why am I not in Oaxaca and why am I here? Well, long story short, we took a flight through AeroMexico and we got stranded here in Mexico City. And we had to get another flight, and we're leaving at 4 in the morning to get to Oaxaca. Yeah, I know. Awful, right? So yeah, today what I'm gonna be talking about is my awful experience in my situation with AeroMexico, because it was very, very, very bad. No bueno. And I mean, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to do except make a video. You guys already know this is how I express myself, and this is what I do. And you know, when I first left, you know, Merida earlier today with Christian, you know, what we really wanted to do is, again, record, you know, the whole airport experience. You know, we wanted to record the flying experience, you know, everything now during these, you know, these times. We wanted to show you everything that's going on, basically. And you know, the first episode was just our trip. It was just going to be our flight, you know, to Oaxaca, you know, and just everything that had to go, that had to do with that. And here we are about, well, 16 hours later, and I am now recording a completely different video for you guys. So what happened? Well, basically, we missed our flight. And, you know, I'm sure some of you guys are already laughing, you know, like most people, you know, laugh at people that missed their flight. But the reality is, this was not our fault. We did not miss our flight. They just did not call us for our flight. Let me explain. Look, when we first booked the flight, you know, several weeks ago, we had several options, you know, and most options had about a 1 hour layover. So we said to ourselves, look, let's get the 2 hour layover, because with the 2 hour layover, we won't have much of a problem, because it doesn't matter. We would rather be there a little early and just sit around and wait, as opposed to running around the airport, because, you know, Mexico City Airport is a monstrosity. And I remember the first time I came to, literally to the airport here, to, you know, Mexico City's airport, my plane dropped me off in like gate 1, and I had to run all the way to gate 75. Yeah, exactly. And I barely made it, okay? I made it, but barely. And that was the first time, you know, I not only flew into Mexico, but flew to Merida. You know, that's when I moved out here. And subsequently, I've only flown, you know, let's say if I'm flying to the US or I'm flying to Cuba, but that's it. I've never, and it's been direct, you know, every flight. And this flight, you know, when we were planning this trip to Oaxaca, we were gonna go direct flight. But as we approached the date of, you know what I mean, of when we were gonna go out there was no more direct flights left. In fact, all flights now had to come through Mexico City. I'm like, well, whatever, it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? We'll, you know, come out here and, you know what I mean, just do the layover. I mean, there's nothing really we could do. I mean, the prices were pretty cheap. Again, yeah, I know, right? In retrospect, came out expensive, but hey, again, you know, it's all a learning experience, you know, at the very least. So let's go with that. So AeroMexico offered, you know, really cheap flights. It was a really good plane, I'm not gonna lie. But at the end of the day, you know, the flight was packed like sardines, you know, and when we got to Mexico City, that's when things just went haywire. And so let's get to the story. So we got to Mexico City, and when we got to Mexico City, basically our plane dropped us off, and the terminal where the other plane was going to take off was about 15 minutes away. That's a big deal. You know what I mean? All right, whatever. We got an hour and 45 minutes to kill. Not a big deal, okay? So, you know, we're there, we're just hanging out, we're chilling. And when we first got there, our plane didn't have a gate, didn't have anywhere from where it was leaving from. It was just, it said TBA, to be announced. So I was like, all right, whatever, you know what I mean? So we got there, you know, we looked at the board, all right, I saw where, you know, the plane was coming out. It said gate 75A, right? Or B? A? B. Okay, so it was gate 75B. That's no big deal. You know, we went all the way to 75B and we were waiting there. About an hour after waiting, we hear Oaxaca. And I'm like, oh, that's us. There was only one flight to Oaxaca. So I was like, Oaxaca. So then, you know, they literally said, Oaxaca, the flight to Oaxaca is now leaving at a gate 75A. I'm like, all right, no problem. It was like right over to the other side. So we went over, okay? Again, about 15, 20 feet. 30 feet tops, I don't know, it was right there. So I was like, all right, well, we go over there, and now we're standing right in front of the boarding, okay? You know where you're boarding your plane right before you board the plane? Okay, so we were literally just sitting there, and we were just waiting, you know, waiting like anyone else is taking a flight. You already know, they call your flight. You know what I mean? Like, okay, now boarding flight 123 to Oaxaca.
Y aparte el boleto decía to be announced.
Right. Yeah, exactly, to be announced. But anyways. But the point is, you know, it's like I'm going, you know, you would always hear, okay, the flight is about to board in 15 minutes. The flight is boarding this. You always hear names. Where is Jose Arteaga and Christian? Where is John Smith? You hear it all the time. We were hearing it all the time. We were hearing it with all kinds of flights. We were hearing it with all kinds of, you know, situations there at the airport, okay? In fact, I recorded some. I'm most likely going to share that with you here, you know what I mean, at some point, you know what I mean? Because, you know, this is going to be the airport video after all. So, you know, I'll share that with you at the end of what I'm talking about here. But anyway, so we're literally we're sitting in front of the terminal an hour early, and we're still nothing. I mean, so, you know, we keep hearing all kinds of flights, you know. Oh, we're flight to Culiacan. All right. Flight to Houston. Okay. Flight to whatever, you know what I mean? Oh, and then again, you know, just going through the whole protocol. Okay, now we're going to seat this area. Now we're going to do this. Now we're going to whatever, you know, the same old thing. And, you know, we see that the flight's supposed to leave at 4:36, and it's already like getting close to 4:20, and still nothing. We haven't heard anything. Nothing at all. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna go start asking around. And so I go ask, you know, and nothing. No, they're like, oh, I don't know what are you talking about. You know, we don't have the flight here. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Then we finally go to, you know, where we're supposed to be boarding the plane, and they go, oh, the plane already left. I'm like, what do you mean the plane already left? It's supposed to leave at 4:36, not at, you know what I mean, not at 4:20 or 4:25 or whatever it was. And yeah, long story short, the flight left without us. And you know, the thing is, I would feel really stupid and dumb if, you know what I mean, if this was my fault, you know, that I've done mistakes many times, like all of us, we're all human. But the reality is that in the hour and the 2 hours that we were waiting there, we kept seeing person after person after person after person missed their flight. And it was all kinds of, in fact, to the point where we were making a comment about it, and we were saying to ourselves, man, you know what I mean? I wonder what's going on there. All these people are missing their flights. Even Christian was like, oh yeah, haha, you kind of like making fun of, don't make fun, you know, don't need to make fun. Boom, look at us, now you're making fun of us, right? You know, karma, right? No, but it was really weird. And then subsequently, when I was finally at the, you know, after the flight left, and I was, you know, upset, you know what I mean? Again, as upset as you can get. And I'm not stupid. I know how to play the game. If you get too upset, then, you know, then they take control. So, you know, just upset enough, you know, as to know, you know, hey, you know, telling them exactly what, you know, what the hell they did, what was wrong, yada, yada, yada. And, you know, they had to answer. And so, yeah, at the end of the day, they were like, oh, you know, yeah, you're right, Mr. Jose. Yeah, the flight left early. Yeah, this is this. Yeah, we didn't call. Yeah, I'm like, bro, what the hell? Are you kidding me right now? And like, well, so what are you going to do about it? Nothing. I'm like, what do you mean nothing? We're going to get into that a little more in detail later. So, again, super upset, just trying to figure out, okay, let's see if we can find another flight. I get on my phone to see if we did find another flight to get out there through another airline. But again, they were already, you know, about to board in 20 minutes. It was impossible for us to, you know, get the ticket, you know, do the whole thing. had to go through security again. The whole thing, it wasn't going to happen. So, and I finally gave in, and I go back to the, AeroMexico, to where, down to the ticket purchasing area. And I told them my situation. They reaffirmed again that I was right. I'm like, bro, are you kidding me right now? So, again, I didn't need reaffirmation, by 3 other employees, that I was right. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, okay, well, what are you going to do about it since you messed up and you guys are wrong? And nobody can give me any answer. In fact, the only answer I could probably, the closest answer that I got was, not only are you not going to get a refund, but that's it. You know what I mean? In fact, what you need to do now, Senor Jose, is that within 24 hours, actually within 22 hours, because by that point, you need to call AeroMexico, and you need to make sure that your returning flight a week later, okay, from Oaxaca to Merida is still valid. Because when you miss your flight, well, guess what? We just cancel everything. You know what I mean? We just cancel all your stuff, but you got to call within 24 hours to make sure that we don't cancel it. I'm like, bro, what the, huh? You know what I mean? Like, you can't. So again, super even more upset. And by the way, I'm making this video close to 10 o'clock at night. I should be sleeping. I got to wake up in a few hours to get my other flight. You know what I mean? And yet, the reason I'm making this video is because I'm still, obviously with a lot of energy. I'm really upset, but because I just got off the phone with AeroMexico. I've been calling them for hours and hours and hours and hours, and nothing. I mean, and finally, I got somebody, and that somebody, as soon as I told them my situation, because again, it should have been pretty straightforward, right? Hey, I missed my flight. Forget the reason, but anyways, I missed my flight, and I need to make sure that my returning flight is, still there. Still valid. And so it's like, oh yeah, okay, no problem. Let me get your information. Boom, boom, boom. I give him my information. As soon as I give him my information, he's like, okay, I gotta put you on hold. I'm like, I gotta talk to a supervisor. I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm thinking to myself, whatever. But I'm also thinking like, what do you mean? This should be something that should be done immediately. And you know what I mean? It should be something very straightforward, very streamlined. I don't understand. So anyways, 25 minutes later, and by the way, it was just dead silent. You know what I mean? I'm there waiting for him and the supervisor. And again, it's not his fault. It's not their fault. Okay, this is the corporation, the company's fault. Okay, that's why I'm making this video. But anyways, by the way, I would not be surprised if AeroMexico says, hey, you're banned from flying flying with us ever again. And that's fine. I don't care. You get what I'm saying? If anything, you'd be doing me and a bunch of other fucking people a favor, because I don't want to get off topic. But look. As I was, as I was talking to the guy and just letting him know about my situation, I'm like, bro, you know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking to myself, why is this taking so long? I don't understand why you got to talk to a supervisor, why you got to go through all this. Why isn't this something that, could be easily fixed? You know what I mean? But anyways, so I talked to him, and again, he's another employee, so I go and I told him my situation. I go, what do I have? What can I do? And he goes, honestly, there's nothing you can do. The only thing you can do is, give me an email there, is email this email and tell him your situation and hope for the best. And he goes, oh, and please, if you can't email him now, I'm like, no, bro, I'm not going to email him now. You know what I mean? Like, I got to sleep, and, I'm very upset, okay, as you can tell. Jerry is very upset. Jose is very upset. Anyways, not happy, all right? So, but I digress, you know what I mean? The customer service, I thought it was going to be outstanding and great, and the customer service has been beyond putrid and terrible and horrible. And yeah, sure, everyone, is there with a smile to their face and they're acting professionally, but they're not behaving professionally as a corporation, as a company. I am not blaming any of the employees because, again, I've been through this before. I've worked for corporations. I know the spiel. It has the people that are working there have nothing to do with this. This is just the corporation itself. And again, they're taking full advantage of the people. So, since we've been here, in the hotel, just, whatever, eating some tacos, just trying to catch our breath, from our day. Christian said, started looking through Facebook and started looking through the internet, through Google, through whatever, and just looking at, other unsatisfied customers, or just looking for any kind of review,
Incluso te dan un voucher para que cambies cuando ellos te cancelan. Porque también está el peligro de que ellos te cancelen los vuelos y te dan un voucher para compensarlo. Y luego no te dan esos vouchers para cobrarlo. AeroMexico es una mafia horrible. horrible.
So basically, even when they cancel your flight and when they fuck up, as she was saying, you know, but she kept does the next thing I was gonna say, talking about the reviews. We're trying to see if we can find any reviews, whatever. Anyone talking about AeroMexico, almost all of them were negative, horrible, terrible, putrid reviews. I was surprised. I had no fucking idea they were so
La
bad.
misma situación que nosotros, que nunca vocean los vuelos.
Yeah. And then again, you know, almost, you know, the same exact story that I just gave you right now, where you're just standing in front of the, you know, the boarding gate and nothing. You know what I mean? Like the flight.
Parece que los vuelos de conexión, como el que tomamos nosotros de escala, son un limbo.
Yeah. So basically, all connecting flights.
Right. Para robarte tu dinero.
Right. And so and that's true. You know, because again, you know, it's part of what I'm saying. Or we're gonna say, yeah, but so what they do is that they only do this with connecting flights. This is why I wanted to fly direct to Oaxaca and avoid Mexico City for a lot of reasons. But this is reason number 7,858. You know what I mean? Like, I'm only flying to Mexico City unless if I'm coming straight here and nothing else. But if you're gonna use this as a layover, I would highly suggest that, you know, you be very, 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 very careful, because you might be in the same situation as we've read of countless people in that same situation. So remember, when we were waiting for a plane, we kept seeing many people miss their flight, and we just thought, well, you know, yeah, for many reasons. You know, we don't know those people, but I mean, we're talking about the reviews that we read that had the same similar reason. Right. And so, yeah, she beat me to it. So, and then when I was finally, you know, showing my grievances and, you know, talking to them, basically the people that were behind me in line, they were asking, hey, did you miss the flight to whatever? Or did you miss the flight to what? And I'm like, and then it was like all kinds of people, you know what I mean? All with complaints, the same exact complaint, the same exact situation, the same whatever. And everybody just had to eat it. And look, I don't even smoke cigarettes anymore. And I was so upset that when I walked out, you know, to the, you know, front of the airport, you know what I mean, waiting for the taxi to bring us over here, you know, I saw somebody smoking a cigarette, and I'm like, bro, I need to bum a cigarette, you know what I mean? And I smoked the shit out of it, you know what I mean? And I don't even smoke anymore, but that's how upset I was, how upset we were. And that guy, and the guy that gave me the cigarette, you know, I smoked my cigarette and I went to go, you know, find, you know, like see if there was a hotel in the airport and just see what was around. And Christian was overhearing his conversation, the guy that gave me the cigarette, and he also, you know, his wife was yelling at him, he's like, hey, you know, it's like he missed his flight, and he's there like, you know, there's nothing I can do. It wasn't me, it wasn't whatever. And again, as she was saying, even when AeroMexico fucks up and mess up, they don't care. You know what I mean? They literally just, you know, say tough cookies. Tough luck. And what you, ¿qué es lo que tú dijiste? Que daban un voucher, ¿verdad? Sí. Okay. And again, you know, a voucher for what? Para...
Como una compensación, pero, o sea, lo tienes que canjear en la fecha que ellos te den.
Okay, so even worse. So usually what happens if something like this, we're used to, like something like this were to happen, you get like some sort of refund, or maybe even like some AeroMexico fly credits, or, you know, something like that, you know what I mean? But no, what she said was even worse. So what they do is they like say, oh, we're sorry that, you know, we canceled your flight and you're here at the airport stuck. But what we can do is give you a voucher for, I don't know, March 23rd. And you're like, bro, what the I'm not flying March 23rd. I'm not even going to be anywhere. It's like, well, that's all we can do is give you a voucher so you can fly out on March 23rd. It's like, bro, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, so it's just things like that. And so look, I'm not going to sit here and keep complaining and keep harping and keep, you know, just telling you about all these horrible reviews. In fact, what this video is just a cautionary tale. You know what I mean? For anyone out there that is flying into Mexico or flying through Mexico City and using AeroMexico. And I don't know about any other airlines. I have no idea. This is just my experience with AeroMexico. And again, Christian's grandma had a problem with it. So many people literally today had a problem with it. Like, again, you know, look them up for yourself, you know, all of the, you know, bad and horrible reviews, you know, that they keep getting. And again, you know, I don't want to harp on this because, you know, we have a very similar situation in the United States of America with our airlines and the situation over there where they overbook. All right. And then when you're there, you know, you're literally about to board your plane with your, you know, your boarding pass and all that good stuff. And then they tell, oh, no, the plane is full. It's like, what the fuck do you mean the plane is full? My ticket's here. I'm seat 18-3. No, listen, they already, you know, that's it. You know what I mean? Like someone's already sat there and you got no flight. Sorry. And we know that happens all the fucking time in the US. And guess what? So this is starting to happen here too, but in a different form and in a different manner because it got different laws and different, you know, situation out here. But it's a very, very, very similar situation. So, you know,
No
again,
son responsables de nada.
yeah, they're responsible to nobody. And so when I had the guy on the phone earlier, so I realized, you know, when I was looking at some of these pamphlets or whatever, you know what I mean, like that Delta and AeroMexico were together. So I asked the guy on the phone, hey, and by the way, I don't know, I'm just whatever, but I asked the guy, hey, so is AeroMexico owned by Delta? And he kind of just stopped for a minute. He's like, no, AeroMexico is AeroMexico. And I'm like, Anyways, so again, if Delta owns AeroMexico, that would explain so much. And again, I'm not hating on Delta. It's just that Delta's an American airline. And again, it just goes with all that. And especially nowadays with everything that's happening, with all the bailouts of all the airlines. And again, think about it like this from a business perspective, okay? Why do you need to take care of your customers if at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you have any customers or not, because the government is going to pay for everything and bail you out, okay? So if these bailouts and these things don't exist, then guess what? These companies have to actually provide a good service, and they have to compete in capitalism, okay? And they have to, again, try to give you the best service, the best everything, because otherwise people like me are going to be making videos like this, and then all of a sudden they're going to start losing a lot of customers. But if you don't, it doesn't matter how many customers you get, well, guess what? It doesn't really matter how you treat them, right? So I think that maybe that's something like that. You know, AeroMexico, you know, just by the name of it, it's kind of like, I guess, American Airlines. You would think that they're, you know, they have a gazillion planes and they're huge and big and they're actually trustworthy and good. And we find out the hard way that they're not. And so, look, guys, I really am sorry about this video. You know what I mean? Like, I just felt like I needed to rant. I needed to tell you guys about the story. It's been late in the day. I've been wanting to turn this camera on at various points throughout the day to tell you more about the story, but I was just so flustered, so upset. I didn't have all the facts yet. I still, you know, again, the story is still yet to be completed because I don't know if I'm gonna get my luggage or not. Thank God that it's only clothes in there. But it's not the point, you know what I mean? The point is that, again, I might have lost my luggage, you know what I mean? So it's the luggage plus the clothes in there. Again, I'm at a good point right now financially where, yeah, I can afford to lose something like that. In fact, I could afford to you know, lose my flight, miss my flight and pay for another one. Again, the flight for me and her to Oaxaca, this hotel room, food and everything, and I mean, all the extra expenses ended up costing me an extra $150. Now, sure, that's pretty cheap, and $150, I mean, come on, you know, for this is not that bad, but again, that's $150 less that I have in my pocket. And think about a typical Mexican. That's a lot of fucking money. That's a lot of money. There was a lot of people there. They were very, not just upset, but they were like almost depressed. It's like, where the fuck are they gonna get that kind of money? You know what I mean? And some people had to get more expensive flights. You know, I said, fuck it, give me the cheapest, quickest, you know, whatever, you know what I mean? And again, I know how to deal with customer service, even though I wanted to, you know, fucking strangle everybody and fucking, you know, go fucking nuts in there. I kept calm, cool, collected, because I knew that's what I had to do in order to get my shit done. I went crazy afterwards again, but that's a little different. When I had to deal with them, again, I'm not the crazy customer, client, whatever, that's gonna go crazy on the teller, you know what I mean? As if she could do anything, you know, more than what she's already doing. Again, it's not their fault either. Anyone that's out there working in customer service, and you work for a really corrupt company, you guys know fully well how you know how horrible it is that you got to be there all day listening to people's complaints and you can't do anything about it. So I understood that, and I know that person was the one that was going to help me, same as the guy that I called on the phone. So I'm very nice, very cordial, very well spoken and all that good stuff. But again, you know, once I got them there, and once I got, you know, my papers, you know, I got my ticket, then that's when I kind of grilled them a little bit. And I just, you know, again, just asking questions. Hey, so what's up with this? Hey, how come this and that? And again, and that's when I was at the teller, you know, again, look, when I was up at the terminal, okay, and talking to the customer service up there, they said I was right. When I talked to the person at the boarding gate, she also said it was right. In fact, she told me, she goes, oh yeah, because, you know, we just thought that when you heard of Oaxaca an hour ago that you guys would figure out that you guys need to come out here, and then you guys gotta go to the tarmac, and then when you go to the tarmac, we put you on a special bus, and then that bus takes you to a plane. I'm like, how the fuck is anyone supposed to know any of that if you don't even say any of that? All you say is, flight to Oaxaca, change gates. The fuck is that? The fuck is it? And then think about it. As they're calling, you know, going to Culiacan, going to Houston, going to Alaska, going to fucking, you know, where, you know, whatever. Like, are you gonna get in the line? Are you gonna start, asking the boarding people about this? No, you already know how in fact, I'm gonna show you a little bit here, okay? But again, you already know how airports get, and especially when they're boarding the plane, and especially when they're calling another plane out of your gate. Again, we were in gate, 75A, right? Whatever, man, it's all here. Who gives a fuck? The point is that we were at the right gate, and yet, we kept seeing lines of people going through, but they kept calling, completely different, places. And again, at first, like I said, I don't know, I keep going in circles, and at first I thought it was really our fault, but then when we realized, oh no, wait a minute, we were not the only ones. And then, man, there was just so many things that, we just kept hitting a sour note, okay? Even when we finally got our flight, you know what I mean? Like, almost all flights, were pretty empty, and you know what I mean? When we were buying them earlier, and so on and so forth, and then this flight, it just happened to have like 4 seats left, you know what I mean? 2 first class and 2, for me and her. How convenient, you know what I mean? And just, so many just little things like that. Like I said, why is it that if I missed, a flight, why is it that my return flight, which is 7 days later, it's not even, I'm not even checked in yet. It's a completely different animal. Again, a week later, why would that be in jeopardy of getting canceled if I don't call within 24 hours? And by the way, like I said, I was calling and calling and calling and calling and calling. Thank God that I figured out, that I figured out, hey, let me call in English so I can get, a quicker answer and a quicker response. But anyways, guys, it's already getting late. I'm already seeing that this is a very, very long episode. I hope that this video was helpful and at least started, getting you to perhaps ask a little, ask some questions about this situation and maybe, think about it twice, before having a layover in Mexico and again, Mexico City. And even if you have no other choice but to do AeroMexico and go through Mexico City, at least be fully aware of all these horrible things that could happen. Okay? All right, guys, so we're here back at the airport early in the morning. It's 5 in the morning. We got here a little while ago and we're waiting for the flight. I know you can't see it from up there, but literally the gates was again 75B. We were 75B, and sure enough, again they were all wrong. Everything was wrong. So we had to go around and ask until the first person that came out of AeroMexico came out, and we asked them, and they're like, oh no, it's over here. I was like, what do you mean it's over here? So now we're all the way at 75A, all the way on the other side. So saga continues. Hopefully we get the board, and if you do, in the next scene, you'll see us at Oaxaca, and hopefully you'll see me, also being able to get my my luggage. So again, the saga continues. Let's see how all this plays out. We finally made it on the plane. Say hi, Nene. We finally made it on the plane. I know. Anyways, listen, guys, I definitely have a huge story to tell you guys. Even how we got on this plane, plus all the other things that are coming up. So just wanted to do a little segue, film this little something so you guys can at least know that we made it to the plane. So far, so good. All right, guys, so I kind of want to tell you a little bit about the experience, okay? So as you guys already saw, we were able to not just find and get to the plane, we made it all the way to Oaxaca, but there was a lot more to it than that. Basically, they did almost the same exact thing that they did the day that we missed our flight, and only this time they literally announced the flight many times. They were a little bit more organized, yada yada. But as I was there, I could not film anything. I couldn't film everything and be interviewing people and all this other crazy shit. But at the end of the day, I did talk to a lot of people, and there was a lot of people in our position, a lot of people that missed that flight because of either the confusion, the horrible gate, the horrible, everything was in disorder. The whole thing was just whack. I've never seen an airport terminal so disorganized in my life. And so I don't think this is all Mexico's, I don't think this is all Mexico City's airport's fault. I think this has a lot to do with AeroMexico, because at the end of the day, I've taken many flights that are, in a situation like this, and that and they, they let you know ahead of time, and they help get you to your plane, as opposed to here where they just, you got to figure it out. You basically got to walk out to the tarmac. You basically have to walk out to the airport, the tarmac, all right, and look for the plane yourself. So what happened was that the plane was supposed to leave at 6:10. They started boarding at 5:30 in the morning. You know what I mean? Actually, I think it was earlier than that. Not only were they boarding, you know, people that early, but then they were boarding 4 flights at the same time. And then when you were, so you went to the ticket, I'm gonna see if I can show you here, but when you see like the ticket, you know, area there, everyone was making a different line, literally for all the different flights. And then once, you know, they all went through the gate, and they all had to go downstairs, we all had to go downstairs, we all got mixed up again. And then basically it was just a bunch of people working for the airport or the airline saying, all right, who's going to Oaxaca? All right, who's going to Aguascalientes? Who's going to what? And it's just like that. And then you basically have to figure out, you know, what bus you got to be on. All right. Then that bus will take you to another part of the airport, literally goes through the whole tarmac and then takes you to a plane. All right. And then that plane eventually gets you here. So we're already mentally prepared for that for the next time we go. And again, mentally preparing you guys, if you guys are flying AeroMexico and you're, you know, you have a similar situation. Because if you're going to, let's say you have a layover in if you have a layover in Mexico City and you're going to Merida, you're going to deal with that. If you're going to other small areas like Oaxaca and so on and so forth, you're going to probably be dealing with something similar. So it doesn't look like the AeroMexico is going to be getting their act together anytime soon. It doesn't look like they want to or have a need to. So this is why I'm making this video, to inform all of you guys out there so that you guys don't get stranded. You guys don't have to pay for an extra ticket. You guys don't have to go through all this stuff, because again, after all the people that we talked to there, and when we got to the airport, that's another thing too, when we got to the, you know, when we got there, it was just so many people that slept over, so many people that we saw from the day before, so many people that, you know what I mean, like also came like us, you know what I mean, from the hotel. And it was funny because they all did the same exact thing we did. We got there early. We were like the first ones to get there, besides the people that were sleeping there. But when we got there, and you know, we were, you know, going to the terminal, going to, you know what I mean, to the people, you know, in their positions, you know, to ask them, hey, where's the plane? Hey, where's this, whatever. Not only, by the way, I'm sorry, I'm like on 2 hours sleep in 3 days, okay? But anyways, long story short, there was just so many people that were in the same boat, same position as we were. Literally doing the same thing, literally missing their flights, literally already, you know what I mean? Like a hot mess. All right, so, you know, again, something that I want to make sure that you guys are fully aware, okay? Because I don't want to be out there, you know, pointing fingers, but I have a sinking feeling, a really nasty, disgusting feeling that not only do they do this on purpose, but they do this on a very frequent, you know, they do it very frequently, okay? And, you know, thank God that me and Christian, you know, were able to make it out here and afford another ticket. By the way, the whole thing cost me an extra $150. But again, I know there's a lot of people out there where $150 in Mexico, that's a lot of money. Anyways, guys, I know I said a lot of things already before, and I already have a very long episode. So, look, guys, we made it. I was able to recover my bags. I was able to do it all, you know what I mean? And we made it out here. And as soon as we got to Oaxaca, everything was super nice. And by the way, the people at the airline and the airport, they were in Mexico City. But again, Mexico City is a big city. I get it. By the way, Mexico City is amazing. I can't wait to go see it. We actually did get to experience some of Mexico City. And there's a lot of cool things out there. Basically, you don't have to wear your mask, no curfew, no nothing, no whatever, same as out here. I'm gonna be showing you a lot. Now, sure, there's gonna be a lot of people wearing their mask and things like that, but it's not the same. You know what I mean? Meaning that, you know, it's gonna be a lot more lax, because that's what I've already heard from a few people and I've already seen being out here. So, all right, guys, that's it. I'm gonna get out of here. This is a very, very long episode. Let me cut to the outro, and that's it, guys. I'll see you at the next episode. All right, guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Sure, it wasn't what you guys were probably expecting. It wasn't what I was expecting, but I had to make this episode. You already know how I do things and what I do on this channel, and it's just basically talking about everything. There's no holds barred, and I'm not gonna keep anything bottled up. I'm showing you everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. And here, before we get too deep into it, I was able to recover my bag. Amen. All right, on top of that, again, there was a whole story that went with, you know, the whole airplane ride, you know, on the way back. Let me close this window. As you guys can see, we're in El Centro. Just trying to get some cool air in here. By the way, it's very nice and cool and crisp out here as opposed to Merida, which is very hot. But before we get too deep into it, let me just at least show you the Airbnb, because I'm not going to show you any other time. Look at this Airbnb. Not bad, right? It's an apartment. It's bathrooms over there. You got a nice bed. Got a nice little entryway. You got the door. You got a little mini kitchen and some space for, I don't know, whatever. So you can stand in that corner. Again, this place was only $24 a night, 24 US dollars a night. A steal. Okay, we're literally a few blocks away from the heart of the city, so perfect. And again, not much of a kitchen, because if you're ever coming to Oaxaca, the main thing that you want to do out here is eat. Eat. Oaxaca is considered the stomach of Mexico, and that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing a lot of eating, okay? And a lot of, again, I'm going to show you guys around. I can't wait to show you guys around, okay? But as of right now, it's still very early in the morning. We just got here. We just, again, we had to take a shower, rest up and see where the day takes us. But regardless, we're going to be here for a bunch of days, and we got a lot of things to show you. So I can't wait to show you the whole thing. And that's it. So guys, if you like this kind of content, don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please hit that bell icon, but more importantly than anything else, please stay awesome. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. You already know where we are and what we're doing, so can't wait to show you all the awesome, yummy goodiness that's Oaxaca. So hell yeah, see you soon.